Welcome to the Ryder Report. Now here's your host, Ryder Sloan.
Hi, I'm Ryder Sloan. Welcome to our special feature, Greatest Moments in a Michigan Uniform. On today's episode, a moment in Michigan sports history that many believe is simply one of the most electric of all time, both because of the dynamic nature of the play, but also because of the sheer exuberance of the one and only Bob Ufer, as he called the play. The play? John Wrangler to Anthony Carter in the Michigan Stadium during the game against Indiana in 1979. With 6 seconds left on the clock, the teams tied at 21 apiece. Michigan had the ball for one last play on Indiana's 45-yard line. As the clock ticked down, Wangler dropped back and threw a dart to Anthony Carter. Carter hauled in the pass and headed for the end zone, first evading two would-be tacklers, then a third somehow staying on his feet. He danced into the end zone to win the game and electrify the Michigan crowd. Here's Bob Ufer's call of that now famous moment in Michigan Stadium.
Okay. Under center is Wangler at the 45. He goes back. He's looking for a receiver. He throws downfield to Carter. Carter hands up. Carter is down. Look at those Wolverines. 95 Wolverines going in the end zone. Ryder got the pass. In the end, it's done. Ufer is going out of his mind. I have never seen anything like this in all my 40 years of covering Michigan football. Anthony Carter, the human torpedo, got the pass. Bo Schembechler is looking up at fielding a Jostin football Valhalla, and Bo Schembechler says, "Thank you, fielding Yost. Thank you, fielding Yost, for that one." Look at the crowd. You cannot believe it.
Wow. Now, every time I see that play and listen to Bob Ufer's call, it sends shivers right up my spine. I had a chance to sit down with John and ask him a few questions about this now famous play. Every kid dreams of playing sports at a high level when they grow up. But the biggest dream of all is hitting that game-winning shot or throwing the game-winning touchdown pass. You did that. You actually did that. How does that feel?
Yep, I was very fortunate. Anthony Carter was my wide receiver, and he was a skinny little freshman in 1979, and we were playing Indiana, and we were heavily favored to win that game. And it was the 100th year of Michigan football. We had a lot of former players and people come back. We were tied against Indiana with 1:31 left, and everyone was mad. A lot of the fans were leaving the stands, which was unheard of at Michigan Stadium. And we got the ball, and we drove down the field, and we had a 4th and 3. And if we didn't get the first down, we would have ended up tying the game. And so Lawrence Reed, our fullback, I threw a swing pass to him, and he was going to get tackled before he picked up the first down. So he faked like he fumbled the football and went out of bounds, went right to Lee Corso, who is now famous on ESPN. So we got the first down, and that set up our last play with 6 seconds left, and Anthony Carter came in, and he brought the play in, and he said, he goes, as we were breaking the huddle, Anthony, as a freshman, said, "Hey, throw me the ball." And I said, "Don't worry, Anthony, I'm going to." It was a 54-pass post, and they were in a prevent defense, right, because they knew we were going to throw the football. And there was safeties back and corners back and linebackers back. The ironic thing was I had to fake a off-tackle play because we had no straight drop-back plays at that time. And I still would give my coach Schembechler a hard time because I had to turn around and fake the Butch Woolfolk before I spun around and then hit the Anthony on a post. But he ran behind the linebackers in front of the safeties, and I got him the ball right in stride, and he took it, and we were on the 45-yard line, and 3 Indiana defenders had great shots at him to try to tackle him. And Anthony eluded all of them. The first 2, his knee was within inches of touching the ground, but he kept his balance, and then he came through and then Tim Wilbur, their all Big Ten safety, had a clear shot at Anthony, and he just outran him to the end zone, and the rest is history. But I didn't think he was going to be able to get in the end zone in 6 seconds, so I was running down the field to call a timeout if he would have got tackled, which I don't know if we would have had time or not. But yeah, that play was a magical play, and it really put Anthony Carter on the map as being so special, and he ended up being a 3-time All-American and probably the greatest receiver that we've ever had at Michigan, and one of the greatest ever in college football. But the other cool thing about that play was that Bob Ufer was our announcer, and the way he called and described the play may have been better than the play. It was second to none, and Ufer was so enthusiastic and exuberant, and if he was alive today, they would be building statues of him. He'd be the most popular announcer in sports because he was just such a great human being, and the way he called the game was way ahead of his time.
When you were in the huddle, Bo called the play. How confident were you that that play was actually going to work?
Yeah, I was, Ryder. I'm like the guy, is the glass half full or half empty? So I always think it's half full. And when Anthony brought that play in, I had all the confidence in the world that we were gonna hit the pass, and I didn't know he was gonna get in the end zone. I was hoping and praying he would, but I knew we were gonna hit the pass. I felt very confident of that, and the key was that Anthony got open. He had a great knack for finding the open space, so he got right where he was supposed to. And I got him the ball so that he didn't have to break stride. So he'd have to wait for it or reach back, so that didn't give anybody a great opportunity to tackle him. So, couple of those two things, and then his athleticism, after that play, I don't think anybody in America would ever doubt when you got him the ball that he had a chance to score. And he actually scored 1 out of every 4 times he touched the football in college football. So you may think about that. That's a pretty special statistic.
You said you were pretty confident on that play. If you ran it 100 more times, how many times do you think that would actually work again?
Well, I think it worked 95 times because I'm very confident in, that I could get him the ball, that the line would block for me, and that Anthony would get open. And when you were on the field with him, you knew that you had a chance. As long as you were close and the game was close, if you got him the football, there's a chance that we were going to score and good things were going to happen.
You played for great Bo Schembechler. He usually doesn't get very excited after plays. What was his reaction to that play?
Well, first of all, I wish you had the chance to play for Bo. You were born a little bit too late, Ryder, because he was a great coach, and I always have said, if you have a son, your dad, or I had 3 sons, my dream would have been for them to play for Bo, because he was a wonderful coach and a wonderful person, and you learned a lot of life lessons from him. He was very tough, and he was very serious, and he didn't get real excited, animated on the sidelines unless he was yelling at referees. And I didn't realize this because I was on the field, and then we ran down and jumped on the pile, and everybody was on top of Anthony in the end zone. But the next day on Michigan Replay, they had a camera on Bo on the sidelines, and when Anthony ended up scoring, you could see him kind of running down the sideline and then getting excited. And we had never really seen him get that excited about anything, and he was very excited about it. And we all teased him about it because we saw it on TV the next day, and we went in the meetings, and we were giving Bo a hard time about it. So, and he got back to his stern self after we made fun of him a little bit, but it was great. He had a great sense of humor, and we were very blessed to have him as our coach.
Wow. Now that's how legends are made. Thanks for joining me today on the Ryder Report.